excited to be able to say that, and that we're actually moving into a new year. We can leave 2020 behind us, and hopefully this year will be a lot better than last year. And I am very ready to start this new bullet journal and just kind of refresh myself from the exhausting year that 2020 has been. But I have chosen to use the Archer and Olive bullet journal this year, and it is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I am just so excited. But this is the A5 deep green bullet journal, and it took so long for it to come back in stock, so I'm so happy I got my hands on it. I ordered it at like the worst time, that November-December mark when everyone wants a journal. But yeah, here are some important details. The Archer and Olive journals always feature the band to close. It has this little pencil or pin loop. It's got the signature Archer and Olive pendant and a pocket in the back. But it does come in at a little bit pricey, which is $32, but it's got the ultra thick paper 160 GSM, which if you're new to bullet journaling, the higher the number, the thicker the paper. And it has the crisp white pages, which I'm not all about that. I like a more ivory color, but I'm excited to see how this journal holds up because it is my first year using it, but we really do love like a vegan and eco-friendly company. So overall, it looks very promising. 160 pages is perfect for what I usually do in a year. Plus, you can just tell how much care and thought are put into these journals, and their designs are so simple and cute. But another journal that I would recommend is the Minimalism art journal. If you are a new bullet journalist and you don't really know where to start, this is a great point because it's so cheap. That way you're not spending so much money on something you don't even know if you're gonna like. The paper is definitely thick enough, and I love the off-white pages. It's got all of the same features as the Archer and Olive except for the pencil holder kind of on the side, but it's a little bit smaller, has a little less pages, but if you're new, this definitely does the job and it works perfectly. But while I show you some of the materials that I'm going to use today, I just wanted to say that if you're new to bullet journaling, you do not need any of these extra things. I've just come to collect stationery over time. This is going to be my third year having a bullet journal, and my first one cost me $8 and my second one cost me $12, the actual journal. And then I used just what I had on hand. I used my regular pens, I used Crayola markers and highlighters. You do not have to spend a lot of money to enjoy doing this or to be successful at it. And once I realized that I actually would stick with this consistently and not just try a new thing and give it up, I was more willing to spend my money on things like stickers. Like today, these are from a company called Books and Teacups, and it's so cute. It's just a little Etsy shop, and I love buying cute things like this for my journal now, and I like going with sort of a theme. But at first, it was all about using exactly what I had. And there is absolutely no shame in doing that. When I first started, I wanted to be like the people that I watched. I wanted to I wanted to have what they had. And it kind of made me feel bad that I didn't. And I felt this pressure to buy all of these different things. Like these Tombow brush pens, it took me 3 years to actually buy some for myself. It was almost like I had to prove to myself that I would stick with something before I actually spent the money. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, another tip I would recommend is, or just to keep in mind, is that it's okay to make mistakes. Like, wholeheartedly, this page I'm doing right now, I did it and realized that it just wasn't my style. I don't usually do a lot of line work in my bullet journal. I usually focus on painting the beginning of every month. I love sitting down and just having a dedicated art time each month, and that's one of the reasons I use my bullet journal. So it just didn't feel right to me, so I actually end up pasting over this a piece of watercolor paper that I had painted. And that watercolor paper, just be warned, it's like my last piece, and it was actually a scrap piece that I had ruined. But yeah, for my actual kind of 2021 plan with me, I always do a calendar kind of like this. In my 2020 bullet journal flip through, you'll see that I kind of did a little bit of a difference. I haven't posted that yet, but I definitely plan to. And I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. I added some cute washi tape. Mostly I added this because I messed up on the first page and needed kind of like a way to aesthetically fix the problem. So I added the washi tape and the stickers to kind of make it cohesive and happy mistakes, because I actually really end up liking how it turned out. And to the right of my calendars, I always just put my school information. Like if I like to see it all on one page. I don't like to do all of my school stuff on my monthly spreads because it gets really confusing really fast for me. So I like seeing if I have 2 tests in 1 week and an essay due, I need to mentally prepare, and I want to see when I have that free time. Usually I also highlight on my calendars like when I get paid. But yeah, starting this next page, to be honest, I was not really sure what I wanted my theme to be until I sat down for like actually making it. And I was pulling out all of this stuff that I already had, and I found this butterfly print that I'm pretty sure I got in like a weird scrapbooking kind of thing from a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was Hobby Lobby. I can't remember what brand from Hobby Lobby, but I think I can find it. And in this top corner, I wrote, "Give yourself a little grace." Last year, I noticed I created goals for myself that were very unrealistic, and it's so easy for goals that you make to become very toxic very quickly. So I wrote, who would you like to be in 2021? Not necessarily like what size do you want to be, what do you want to have. I didn't want to focus on those negatives because it can just really mess you up inside. And I know I go through writing this very quickly, but under the who would you like to be, I said, do not end this year feeling like a failure. Be proud of what you do and who you become this year. Things will likely evolve and change, but take what comes at you and keep moving forward. Honestly, if I do that for myself, I'll feel like I succeeded. And when I created my goals, I kept them very minimal. I only had 4, and I wanted them to be things I could actually achieve. I remember writing last year, I want to be this size, and that didn't happen. Quarantine happened, and food and stress. So I wrote, do what makes you feel healthy, and that's enough for me. I think that's more realistic. It's a better mindset for myself. I also really would like to make some stickers. I've already started the process, but I still have a lot of learning to do. I want to buy less things, and I want to find non-technology relaxation methods. And I feel like that's achievable. I feel good making those goals. I don't feel intimidated by them, which is, I think, a good sign. And hopefully, if I need to change them for the next year, I definitely can. And up top, I'm doing a little tradition. I always put feed yourself, water yourself, take care of yourself so you can grow. And if you know where that is, like from, I absolutely love you because it's a Jenna Marbles thing. And it's a Kermit dog Jenna Marbles thing, and I just always put that in my bullet journal because it's very true. Do those things so that you can grow. And then here I'm actually redoing my first page that I was gonna do. I realized I didn't like it, and I was like, where can I get inspiration? And I got it from that sun washi tape that I showed you earlier and that I used a couple times. So I recreated this sun shape. And honestly, I'm not too good at making shapes, so I used whatever I had on hand, a lot of tape. And I just made the circles, And then I kind of looked at the washi tape and just tried to figure it out. It's definitely not perfect, but it was not too hard to do at all. And I just took it from there, and it kind of evolved into something I really enjoyed. And then after this, I'm just going to take some black craft paint. Don't really know if you're supposed to use craft paint on watercolor paper, but it didn't turn out terrible, so works for me. I just knew that I wanted to use something really opaque because, as you can see, this is a used piece of watercolor paper. I went to open up my Canson watercolor paper and the little thing it comes in was empty except for one lone piece of watercolor paper that was orange and blue watercolor stained because I was painting on top of it. And I was like, okay, this will work. And I'm just gonna go in now with a metallic, I think it's a bronze Sharpie. I know there's like a gold one and a bronze one, and it worked just fine. It's definitely not as metallic as I was hoping for, but it's a bit old, so I can't blame the Sharpie. And then I just filled in with a gel pen, the 2021, and added way too many stars because that's my default to cover any empty space with stars. But I don't think it turned out badly. It definitely is what I think of when I think of New Year, kind of celebration with like a sun and stars and it being like wow, kind of pow in your face. This seemed more like me, so I was definitely happy with it. And then I know it's really hard to tell, but I added some small black details within the sun itself. That's not on the washi tape. I just thought it needed something because I have this eternal need to fill space that is empty. It works in my conversation as well. If there's silence, I want to fill it. But yeah, and that, just now that I'm thinking of it, that's like also where my bullet journal like style comes from. I'm very maximalist. I have to fill all the empty space. It's a real problem. But yeah, that is just about it for my new cover page. I am very happy with it, and that's it for the beginning of my 2021 plan with me, and I'm gonna jump right into the January plan with me. This had a very big orange stain on it when I started, and trust me, the other side is a lot worse. I think I was trying to do calligraphy on watercolor paper. I was like, why is it not working? It's watercolor paper. It's super textured. That's not what it's meant for. This was like 4 years ago, Danielle trying to do this, so please, not a lot of judgment. But yeah, I wasn't really sure where I was going with this spread. That's kind of like, I don't know, my creative thinking for this start of the year. I was just winging it, not really sure where I was going. I had inspiration photos, and a lot of them were clouds and stars, and I just didn't know what to do for a cover page. So I ended up doing kind of like an abstract sky theme. I actually wanted to go more realistic, but that orange was just beating through, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna go pastel, I'm gonna go pastel. And then I spilt all of this craft like white all over my palette. It's so sad. Ugh. But I added some kind of like cloud-ish vibes on top just to give them more opaque because the white watercolor was really dried up and it just wasn't doing what I needed it to do. And I also don't think I've used this palette on camera before, and I actually got it from a shop called Solar Vault. I've experimented with it on my own, and it's not what I expected to be. I thought it would kind of feel more like clay, and it kind of looked like glazed clay. It has like a very plasticky kind of finish to it, which is definitely fine if that means it's gonna last. And then on top of my cloud kind of vibe, I put this little January like sign-ish, like January writing on top of it. And I really like the difference between the pastel colors and the black. I was just so undecisive this entire month for some reason. I was very unsure of myself, so you're gonna see me peeling up a lot of stuff, but like I said before, mistakes are fine, they happen. We're not always in love with everything that we do, we meaning just me, but I'm not always happy with what I do the first time. And then I'm going in with my regular monthly reminders. Usually I write important dates or important reminders at the top, but I just didn't feel the need to do that because I usually do the same thing around the same thing of every month. It's just what I'm used to. And then in this spot is where I always put my work reminders, birthdays. I have 2 jobs, so to organize all of those things means the world to me, and I don't put any of my school stuff on like my monthly planning. And I'm just using those stickers I mentioned earlier. The colors honestly don't really match, but I had this specific idea of what I wanted in mind, and I'm probably going to explain it very terribly, so I'm sorry in advance, but it actually snowed here today, and it did that thing where it's kind of sunny outside and you look up and you can see almost like whites and pinks coming through and still a little bit of blue, but it's very white, like muted from the clouds with snow coming down, and that's kind of what triggered my thought. So I wanted these stickers that have like cute sweaters on them and mugs because it's still cold, but it still has that pastel color vibe. I hope that makes sense to someone. But yeah, and then I just added more black accents to kind of tie in my January little sign on my cloud page. And then I added these cute little, what are they called? Ice skates, yeah, on top. And I wrote what to focus on for the month. And I kind of debated on what I wanted to focus on since this is the beginning of a new school semester and I am taking 5 classes. I was just gonna be like, okay, focus on your schoolwork, but still keep in mind, like, you gotta take care of yourself. Don't get completely overwhelmed. Just try and stay positive. Don't get too down about things so quickly. And after I do these little black dot snow, I will be done with this month's plan with me. It was really great. I hope I was able to inspire someone, or maybe I showed you what you don't want to do. But either way, thank you for making it this far and watching my video. It means the absolute world to me. I really just enjoy sharing my creations. I do them every month anyways, and I enjoy taking the time to kind of edit it and showing you guys kind of what I have created. I've learned so much, and I'm constantly trying to like put new things or do a new style to my video. It's a constant process, but I really enjoy doing it, and I hope you guys are liking it so far. But yeah, this is my finished spread. I hope you guys have an amazing new year, and good luck if you are a new bullet journalist in this community. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me. Bye guys.